On this 6.7 Power Stroke Superduty, P0201 is handled as a fuel injector circuit fault for the injector identified by the code. The truck may run rough, misfire, have reduced power, or set a warning lamp, and the fault area can be the injector wiring, the injector itself, or possibly the PCM side of the circuit. Work this like an electrical diagnosis. Prove the injector, prove the two control circuits, then prove power supply and fuel condition before calling the part. Also use care around energized injector wiring. These injectors use high voltage to operate, and contact with exposed energized wiring can cause serious injury. If regeneration starts during testing, let it finish before continuing, because values may be biased during that event. Start by retrieving and recording all codes. Save the captured conditions if they are available, because those conditions help you reproduce the fault instead of chasing a clean bay test. If other codes are present, check what they mean first. For P0201 on this path, continue into the suspect injector checks. If no codes return and the concern cannot be duplicated, inspect for loose connections, damaged terminals, or corrosion, and wiggle the harness while trying to recreate the concern. Repair what you find, and keep the symptom diagnosis separate from this code path. Do not turn this into an all-cylinder injector test. Only diagnose the injector indicated by P0201. With the ignition off, disconnect the suspect fuel injector connector and check internal resistance between the component side pin 1 and pin 2 pair for that injector. The acceptable range is 150,000 ohms to 210,000 ohms. If it is in range, move on to the short-to-case check. If it is not in range, install a new fuel injector, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. Next, check the suspect injector for a short to the case. Use the correct lead reference for the case check before connecting the meter. If the lead reference is not clear, pause and recheck the earlier diagnostic path rather than guessing. The resistance needs to be greater than 10,000 ohms. If it is greater than 10,000 ohms, continue to the harness open circuit check. If it is not, move to the fuel contamination check later in the path. Now, prove the INJ and INJ-RTN circuits are not open. Disconnect the PCMe connector, then check resistance from the suspect injector connector back to its matching PCMe pins. The pass point here is less than 5 ohms. If both circuit checks are less than 5 ohms, keep going. If either circuit is not less than 5 ohms, repair the open circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. With the suspect injector circuits still isolated, check the INJ and INJ-RTN circuits for a short to ground. Make sure the meter lead reference for this ground check is known before testing. If it is not clear, stop and verify the setup instead of assuming. Resistance must be greater than 10,000 ohms. If it is, continue to the short to voltage check. If it is not greater than 10,000 ohms, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. Turn the ignition on and check the suspect INJ and INJ-RTN circuits for a short to voltage. Again, do not guess at a missing meter reference. The test setup has to be confirmed before you make a voltage decision. If any voltage is present, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. If no voltage is present, continue to checking whether the two injector circuits are shorted together. Turn the ignition off and measure resistance between the suspect injector pin 1 and pin 2 circuit pair to see if INJ and INJ-RTN are shorted together. The resistance must be greater than 10,000 ohms. If it is, continue to the VPWR circuit check. If it is not greater than 10,000 ohms, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. Next, check the VPWR circuit. Turn the ignition off and disconnect the PCM-B connector. The check uses a 5-amp fuse jumper wire with lead 1 at C1232B pin 50. But the other jumper connection and voltage meter reference must be confirmed before applying the test. Do not guess at either one. Check voltage at C1232B pins 1, 16, 17, and 31. If voltage is greater than 10.5 V, move to the fuel contamination check. If it is not greater than 10.5 V, check generator circuitry and operation. If no generator concern is found, repair the open circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. If the electrical checks have led you this far, Check the fuel for contamination and carry out the fuel quality check. If the fuel is contaminated, carry out the diesel fuel system contamination repair and flushing process. Then clear the PCM codes and repeat the self-test. If the fuel is not contaminated, the P0201 path ends with installing a new fuel injector, as necessary, then clearing the PCM codes and repeating the self-test. Keep verifications separate from testing. After any circuit repair, flushing repair, or injector repair, clear the PCM codes and repeat the self-test. Then reproduce the captured operating conditions as closely as practical and confirm P0201 stays gone. The takeaway is simple. For P0201, stay on the suspect injector, prove the injector and both control circuits first, verify VPWR and fuel condition, and do not guess when a test connection is unclear. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.